Are you using self-help to improve your life, or is this just the new TV show? That's it. You know, back in the day, as he was saying, it's like you apply the ideas. You're like, what's this idea? Let me go apply it, and you'd report back on what happened. No one would just exchange ideas and dissect ideas and just intellectually, let's just talk about these ideas. It was all about, I applied it, this is what happened, what happened when you applied it? Oh, that happened. Okay, well, what if we did it this way? It was all about results. And now with self-help being more mainstream as opposed to this like underground thing that people kind of found out about, now it's really like the new TV show. It's all over YouTube, it's all over Facebook, it's all over Instagram. There's tons of little videos, there's some nice music, and people get lost in it, and they fail to apply it. And right now, you've got to catch yourself. How much of your time is spent consuming as opposed to applying?
This is, by the way, was something in my dating life when I became single again was shocking for me, because I'd never seen Instagram before at this point when I became single again after being in a relationship for a few years. And so self-help had become very, very trendy on Instagram. And I would see these women that were saying things that I wished women would say for the past 20 years. They would talk about all these different ideas about being present to the moment, about finding solutions, about elevating themselves, about entrepreneurship, about charity. And I would look at some of these girls' Instagrams and I'd think, I'm ready to get married. Like right now, I'm getting married to this. This is the most amazing woman I've ever met. And I told my buddy about it, my buddy Alfonso, and he's like, you know this is just like a trendy thing on Instagram. You just post self-help memes, right? I'm like, but look at this girl. I'm like, she gets it. It says right here. I've never, I'm just going out in Hollywood with Julien. We're never meeting anybody like this in our minds. And this is becoming completely trendy. What are we seeing in Hollywood? Anyway. So, it's becoming but self-help is becoming super duper trendy. If you look at a lot of the Instagram stories, you'd think that most people are completely plugged in to massively succeeding.
They're all present, they're all completely aligned, like healthy food every moment of the day, higher conscious. It's like, is that what you see in the street? Is that what you see in restaurants?
So the first girl I met like that, I was so desperate to meet her and to become her boyfriend because I'm like, I've never met someone like she's in a charity. And it was literally to the point I was nervous around her. And so I came to her with all these ideas about ways that we could, grow the things she's doing, charity, all this different stuff. And literally, I acted so weird around her. I was so nervous because I was like, this is like, I've never met someone like this in my life. She's so incredible, all this stuff, right? And I still believe she's incredible, but just, I didn't fully understand the situation. And so what it was I remember I went to a charity meetup. And there's a bunch of people there that were doing this really cool charity meetup. I don't want to get too specific here, but it was this really cool charity meetup. And I'm thinking we're going to get in there, and I'm going to find like-minded people, and we're just going to take over the world and save the world, is what I'm thinking. Like, literally, we're just going to get together, and we're going to save the world. And instead what we did was we just talked about the ills of society, and we talked about how, there was a lot of virtue signaling being said at that point. I mean, basically what I just saw was a lot of complaining and virtue signaling. And I didn't really see a lot of action. And any action that I proposed would be met with very strange looks, weird vibes, and no real follow-through. And I met a bunch of people that one event that I went to, followed up with most of them because I love charity. I love helping the world. I want to save the world. I know it's impossible, but I want to save the world. So I'm thinking that there's other people as delusional as me, and we're going to go try to save the world together. And what I really saw was people basically just posting Instagram memes. So I didn't understand that at the time, okay? They love to watch, say and I think he's awesome too, but say Prince AI. Is that his name? What's his name? Prince A, it's like Prince EA, is that his name? They'll watch his videos and they're super inspired. And then I'm like, okay, let's go do this. Be like the prince. And they're just drawing blanks, they're getting annoyed, they're getting irritated. And so what it is that people, they kind of philosophically align with taking action or making change, but when it comes to that aggressive, painful, focused process to making real change, they're not ready to do it. And then when someone comes along and talks about doing it, they actually become angry and want to distance themselves from you. And the reason why is because they're not ready to go to that space. And what you're doing is you're messing with their coping mechanism. You're totally messing them up. Because that whole idea of someday I'm going to build a charity, someday I'm going to contribute to saving the world and this and that and the other thing, that was keeping them sane. That was providing a way to de-stress. At the end of a crappy day, they could say, well, I'm going to go do a charity someday. And you're saying, look, let's go do it. And they're like, that's kind of hard, and that kind of sucks. And I kind of just liked how I felt thinking about doing it. I didn't think that I was going to really go do it. And having somebody call you out like that it basically takes away the coping mechanism, and now you're left completely naked. You've got nothing left. So there's two types of people that talk about improving themselves. The first are people who are serious about it, people who want to take real action, people that want to create momentum, people that are willing to take pain and be resourceful enough to get it done. That's one type of person. That's about 1 in 100, and that's just in the self-help crowd. If you're talking the larger crowd, it'd be a lot less. Now, the other side are people that are doing it as a coping mechanism. And what would confuse me in my 20s and even in my 30s was I would meet people who I thought were serious about this, and what turned out happening was they found my desire to go make their dreams come true, they found that as actually threatening and annoying. And it got to the point that I couldn't, that they would distance themselves from me. It would actually provide confusion. How many of you in this room love this idea of creating a better life? But in truth, and so that's what we're dealing with here. And, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, look at our videos, right? I've been posting for 10 years. We have an incredible organic following. But people will say, people will look at our content, they'll say, with content like this, you'd think that everybody would be watching it. Have you ever looked at our content and thought, why isn't there 100 million subscribers to this? This is impossible. How could there not be? Have you ever, put your hand up if you ever had that thought? Okay, me too. Now, the reason why, but what I often say is I would be offended. If I had 100 million subscribers, I would be offended. That would mean my content isn't action-based. It means that it's coping-based content. It's diversion-based content. Content that's meant for diversion and coping is always going to be the most popular because in life, it's like a pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is always the biggest. The content that we create is for the top of the pyramid, maybe a level below because there's always a level above. But it's meant to be at that upper echelon. So of course it's going to be like, boom! Like, oh, I have to watch an hour video? That's not, see, to me, if I'd had access to resources like that, I would be jumping up and down in tears, so happy. But for somebody who just wants to get through it, they're annoyed it's not 3 minutes.
Yeah, the ideal product for someone is this, okay? Imagine you saw a sales page, you're like, what's this product? Someone shows up and they're like, listen, all you have to do is just scroll down and hit the buy button. Once you hit the buy button, you don't have to do anything. You just gotta sit there and the program will do it for you. You don't have to change any of your beliefs. You don't have to change yourself. You don't have to take action. Just sit there in your little box, your comfort box, and let it change everything for you. And nothing will actually change, but it'll make you feel better about it, and that's the product. Everyone would buy that. That's what you want. It's like, just do it for me, but in reality, don't do anything. Just make me feel better about this. That's what people would buy. No one wants to buy like, hey, here's the program. It'll tell you everything you need to do, but you got to go out and do it. Ugh, is that what I really want, to take action? Ugh, that's going to be challenging. I mean, you see it when it comes to socializing, right? Everyone wants a better social life. Hey, go out and talk to people. Let's talk about this social life idea a lot better. And you got to distinguish. Are you living in reality, where it's taking action and getting results, or are you just fueling the dream, fueling the fantasy? And guess what? The more you fuel that fantasy, the more you get sucked into it. I had this when it comes to music. You know, from a young age, I played guitar, from the age of 8. And for years, my entire, you know, like 8 till, 19, nonstop, I was like, you know what? When I record that album, when I'm famous, and I'd put off recording the album. I'd put off doing shows. Why? Because it would never even live up to that dream. And then it would challenge it, where I'm like, oh, now I no longer have the dream. I'm not as good as I thought I was. I'm so far away from that. What if I never succeed? And it would prevent me from taking action. We all have this idea of what we'll look like when we finally say hi to that person, when we finally put ourselves out there, and then when reality doesn't match, we'd rather just hang on to the fantasy. Are you consuming action-based content or content that's reinforcing your little bubble? Instagram famous content, the content that people share and no one ever executes on, content that just makes you feel inspired. Are you after results or after hits of inspiration? Is that your new drug? Like, little hit of inspiration, never action, but just inspiration. No, you got to apply it. And once more, devalue the fantasy, value real life. And be careful too with social media conditioning, because it does do that as well, where there isn't just one you anymore, right? There's you in the real world, and then there's you in the virtual world. You do get that. There's your avatar. And a lot of people value the virtual avatar over their real life. To the point where, as long as I look good on Facebook and Instagram, it doesn't matter about real life, right? No, get out of the fantasy, value real life, start taking action, and be willing to go through challenging your beliefs, getting out of your comfort zone. Don't use self-help to reinforce your comfort zone. Use it to break and shatter your comfort zone. Yeah, notice too just how few videos give you action steps. If you go to that Instagram, kind of like, look at all these little inspirational videos. I mean, they're great, but how many of them are saying, okay, go do this now? It's more of like, you know what? When you're aligned with your purpose, things feel great. When you're happy inside, people feel that, and they're happy too. Right? That's a little hit. As opposed to, okay, let's get to work. Let's do an audit. What's going on? Where are you at in life? Where are you failing? What are the thoughts you have? What are the limiting beliefs you have? Let's go challenge that. Let's get to work. Let's take action. You would immediately click off that. You're like, this is way too intense. Give me the little hit instead. So you got to commit here. Are you in this to cope? Or are you in this to grow? And if you're in it to grow, audit where your mind goes when clicking on a video, and always bring it to, how can I apply this to my life? I'm here for the action, not the content. The content is not the result. When you apply the content, that's the result. Don't confuse the two, and that's what people do. They think that the beauty of self-help is the new content, the new videos. No, it's what happens when you apply that. If you're not applying it, it's just a waste of time. You're wasting your life away. It's no better, well, no, it's a little bit better, than just watching TV shows and binging Netflix. That's what you're doing, except it's self-help. Instead of seeing Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, you're seeing someone say, be giving and people will be giving. And you're like, yay, it's the same thing. There is no escaping doing the work, and that's another big part of it. We think that perhaps if I ingest more knowledge and accumulate more knowledge, I will be able to avoid taking action. No, you can't avoid taking action. You can avoid taking stupid action, but you can't avoid those inner challenges. That's how you get ahead. You surrender to the process. Stop trying to fight your way around it. And that's what a lot of people did back in the day. It's like you had this content, and you just surrender to it. People would say, okay, just apply it. Come back after applying this for, a month. It wasn't like, oh, I apply it once, Julien, it didn't work. It's like, keep applying it. Come back in a month. And that was the assignment. And people would go out and execute because it was about action. So bring it back to that. Don't get lost in the mainstream self-help idea. You're not going to accumulate your knowledge there. You're going to take action to get there. You're going to do all those uncomfortable things you're trying to avoid. The sooner you surrender to that, the faster you get ahead.
The standards are incredibly low. Very, very low. So because what you're surrounded with is such a BS and nonsense, it's very, very hard to break out of it. And anybody that's going to talk about breaking out of it is going to be viewed as a little bit weird or crazy. And they're going to crap on it. I used to even do that when I was younger. So I understand this process. Now, when you're watching content, you want to be putting it into action. Another thing that I would even add to that is that you're trying to change your standards. You're trying to align your mind to different ways of thinking. So just being here this weekend, part of the goal is to get your mind aligned to different ways of thinking. We're trying to get your mind focusing on different things. So a lot of what we're saying here is mental training because you have what's called misweighting bias, as we mentioned earlier. Your mind is focusing on the wrong things. A lot of what you should be getting out of this right now is your mind should be kind of daydreaming a little bit on your goals and things that you want out of your life and friends of yours and the people who you're surrounded with and looking at where they're going, looking at their trajectory, and you should also be looking a great deal at your own trajectory. So I hope that your mind is daydreaming on that right now. I hope that you're also noticing not burning time, energy, and resources on nonsense. I hope that you really have it in your head that life is short. So whatever it is that you're looking to get out of life, You should really be getting after it. Now, I'm not saying that reaching your dreams is going to magically make you happy. That is something that you control on your own. So you going after your dreams has many different purposes than that. And we'll talk about that this weekend. Okay? It's not like you're miserable now and then later you get your dream and you're magically happy. That's not the truth. The pursuit of the dream is actually the best part of the dream. Having it come to fruition is just this kind of cool thing that happens that's a moment to reflect on it. But a lot of it is having to do with what you want your time on this earth to mean. What do you want yourself to represent? How do you want to represent yourself to your children? What kind of general lifestyle would you like to have? Are you okay with not having a great lifestyle when you live in the richest country in the world? Or, guess what? If you live in a poor country, because somebody could be watching this on a video, you live in a country with the cheapest labor in the world. So, either way, because our labor is not cheap. So, either way, are you okay with the fact that you have a working brain and you're not making something out of your life? So, really what we're trying to get at here is this idea of not using, and we want to start with this, we want to start our event with this, not using personal growth as a coping mechanism. What freaks me out is that in this event, because it's a free event, you're literally going to see, watch this, day 2, this room, 20% will be shaved off it. Day 3, another 20% will be shaved off it. Day 4, another 20% will. Day 4 is like the best day. There's like 8 people left. And what you'll see, because the average person can't even lock in, and these days are going to be so crazy. This is the warm-up. This is just warming you up and poking on you a little bit to kind of provoke you, to make you mad enough to maybe lock in over what we're going to be teaching you this weekend. So I want you to be thinking a lot about your misweighting bias, about the areas that you've wasted your life, and what is it that's holding you down. So we've kind of given the lay of the land here, and what Julien covers very much is the energetic component behind it. There's an energy component behind it that is causing you to get dragged down. There's a gravity that's crushing, making you procrastinate, making you focus on the wrong things, shutting down your awareness, shutting down your reticular activation system, and dragging it around into areas that are not serving you. This is an energetic component. And most of our experience in society are experiences of negative energy and dense energy being shot into you. And for this reason, you're basically helpless to make progress with it.
Don't look at the people around you. You know, that's an easy one where it's like, you look at all your friends, the people you know, the people you see at work, and you're like, well, they're not taking action either, so I guess it's fine. Don't model other people. The default is people fail at life. It's harsh to say, but it's true. You want to know why it's true? Going back to those little Instagram videos, what's one that gets passed around all the time? It's the motivational deathbed video, right? Where you see some old people talk about their regrets. They're like, I wish I would have allowed myself to be happier. I wish I would have allowed myself to, follow my dreams. It's always the same too, right? And it's just a variation of old people saying that. And there's some little music, and you're just like, oh, it's so inspiring. Yeah, it's important to follow my dreams and to allow myself to be happy. And then you just scroll to the next video and you forget about it, okay?
But in the moment, it makes sense.
But take in just the sadness of that video. We see it, we're like, oh, the old people on their deathbed. No, those old people fucked up. They messed up. You do realize that. The last thing you want to be in this world is ending up on that video. When I see those old people on that video, I'm like, please never, ever let that be me. That is the ultimate sign of failure. Failure in a dictionary, the old people in that video. Literally. They wasted their lives away. Now, what's an even bigger failure is you seeing that video and then wasting your life away. They didn't see themselves in the video. They didn't know. You know. You see the warning. It's always the same two things. Jumping at opportunities, following my dreams, allowing myself to be happy. Yet, 99.987% of people ignore it. That's the default. People fail. They live lives of regret, and when they die, they're like, oh, I was so stupid, I messed up. Very, very few people on their deathbed are like, you know what? That was a great life. I did it. When do you see that? Yeah, never. It's crazy, right? And we're like, well, I'm modeling my friends. Look, they're not doing it. Joe at work, Sally at work, they're not doing it. So I guess it's fine. You know, I'm just going to be with the pack. I'll be safe. I'll be protected. No, the pack fails. You got to stand out. Don't do what the norm does. Right now, and we've been talking about this, like the norm is not good. The norm fails. The norm is dumbed down. Okay, advice that goes towards the default is extremely dumbed down. It's not action-based. It's just meant to keep you there and make you feel better about your pathetic existence and the fact that you will end up in that Instagram video on your deathbed with your little regrets. Don't let that be you. Okay? And going back to, again, the self-sabotage and that pull that we have, I'm sure you all feel it. You know, you might be inspired here, and you might even think like a joke, like, oh, tomorrow, that's not true. People will still show up. Trust me, you'll see it tomorrow. The last couple rows or so will be gone. And for those of you who don't show up tomorrow, you'll know. Remember this moment when you're at home tomorrow, like, oh, I should have gone, but I'm using it to cope. Just remember this face saying, and remember the deathbed video. That's where you're headed.
It's also a huge misweighting bias because you literally have some of the best teachers in the entire world sitting here to teach you for free, and you blew it. And it truly is one of the most grave misweighting biases you'd ever see. The fact that we make it for free makes the person incapable of understanding what they're having shoved down their face. I will go see Eckhart Tolle every time that I can because of the fact I think he's one of the best in the world. I always surround myself with the best in the world. Always. I do it all the time. I will chase it down because I understand it's scarce. I also know those people can die. It's so funny to me. Like, for example, for years and years, I would teach in small cities. I love going to small cities to teach. It's my passion. It's my hobby. And so many times people would, I'd go to like some city like, say, Atlanta, which is not going to be a huge turnout for us. And I'll go there and somebody will skip it and they'll see it on the street and they'll be like, oh, I didn't have time to make it. And I'm thinking, you're crazy, man. You're out of your mind. And they're like, well, when are you coming back? It's like, I'm not. You're in Atlanta. And it's a good city. And that's why I go there for fun because I like to eat at R. Thomas and I like the Georgia Aquarium. But the thing is, like, in what reality, like, how delusional are you that you think that like the world's just going to conform to you on your schedule? I do not remotely think that the world's going to conform to me on my schedule. I have abundance in the sense I think there's abundance of opportunity, but I also understand that there's also scarcity of opportunity. And when I see an opportunity, I jump on it. I view that in every area of life, and I take it very, very seriously. I take the people in my life that are important seriously. I take my relationships seriously. I take my work seriously. I take this event seriously. You'll watch how, like, again, this is the warm-up. Watch how this event progresses over the next 4 days. And literally, because I understand that most people's lives are so utterly lame, and I just could not handle living like that. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. Honestly, I'm not going to say the things I would do to myself if I had to live most people's lives. Like, I'm not going to say it. I couldn't do it. And people say to me, they're like, where did you find your sense of urgency and motivation? I'm like, how are you even okay with this? How are you okay with this? When you see all the awesome things you could be doing, you don't want to do those things. And it's not that you need it in order to be happy. It's that you want to maximize your life in order to get the juice out of life. It's not that I need that to be happy. My happiness is controlled by processes that I understand to control my own mood. So that's not the issue. It's that I wanted to squeeze the juice out of life. Life is so short. I didn't want to go by, like, have life just pass me by. If I died right now, I would think my life was amazing. I've got a lot more to do, way more to do, way more to do. But I would have thought my life was epic. I would have no complaints. So I just don't get it when I don't see people doing that or why they're not taking it seriously. Like, I goof around a lot, I joke around a lot, but I take it very, very seriously. Like, I learned how to stop and smell the roses and laugh and have fun and enjoy the process because that's part of success. But I also take my results very, very seriously because no one's going to get them for you.
Think of life like a video game, like a GTA minus the killing, okay? No, but think about it. Here's the situation. Say I have right now GTA 20, okay? It's not out yet. It'll come out in many years. It's the most amazing, immersive GTA game ever. I'm going to lend it to you, but in 7 days, I want it back, okay? Now, you're going to have that game. You're going to go home. You're probably going to play it, right? Are you going to be excited to play that game? Yeah? 20 years from the future, you're like, oh, you're going to put it on, and now you're in GTA. Most likely, you have 7 days, you're going to go explore, you're going to try everything, right? It's this crazy new world. You're like, what happens over there and there? Let me explore, see the mountains, whoa. And then you return it. And when you give it back, I'm like, cool, did you enjoy it? What did you do with the game? You're like, I explored. Think of life that way. Here is life. You come into life, you have your body, that's the vehicle, here's the ride. Eventually, you're going to have to give the game back, the game of life. What are you going to tell the person when you give it back? They're like, so did you enjoy life? What did you do? Well, I kind of coped through it the entire time. Oh, that's like saying, so what did you do at GTA? Well, I just kind of stood still the whole time, and I didn't really explore because it was a little scary, and yeah. Or people who compromise their happiness or their purpose. It's like, well, I wanted to pursue this and explore, but you know, I just played the taxi cab thing where I would just collect cash the whole time. And I had a lot of cash at the end. Did you have fun? Did you do what you loved? No, but I collected a lot of cash with the taxi missions. Treat life that way. Here you have life. You're in the game. It started. How are you going to play this game so that when you have to give it back, you're like, that was awesome? Or are you just going to hold it back and cope and play it in this very sheltered way, or just run in a building and just hide in the building in GTA, which is unfortunately what most people do in life. You know? And you don't get a warning. Keep that in mind. Well, you do when you're born. We think that we will know when our time is near. That's not true. You know your warning? You're born. Everyone here is born. You're going to die. That's your warning. You know, people are, this too, I find it crazy. Like when people find out, like, man, what would change if, you know, I found out that suddenly I had a disease that was going to kill me. You know, I'd finally do this, this, this. I'm like, how do you not realize you have a disease right now? You all have a disease. You know what it is? It's called being alive. No one escapes. None of us get out of here alive. You all die. And this disease, it'll kill you 100% of the time. And it could kill you today. It could kill you next week. It could kill you in 50 years, but it is going to kill you.
We have clients that die because we work with so many people.
Friends. Yeah. Start opening your eyes to death. Not in this like sad where you're like, oh, so on and so forth, but like align yourself with reality.
Yeah, I promise most of you are very disassociated from your eventual death. Vast majority of you, not real to you at all.
And it's not necessarily in this like sad, gloomy way either. It's just more so live a life that's congruent to reality, not fantasy.
In fact, the awareness of death is actually the main thing that should make you happy.
Yeah. In reality, it's also that scarcity that allows you to take in the experience that is life more deeply. You know, say you had all the time in the world, it'd be like, you're going to live forever and ever. Ugh. It's the scarcity where you're like, let me enjoy this. Like, say right now, I'm like, you are going to die in 1 minute. You're probably going to be like, air, what it feels like to breathe, what it feels like you immerse yourself. Like the experience of this life is much more intense because of that scarcity. So it's not so much that scarcity is bad, it allows you to really take in what life is, but don't be blind to it. You aren't here forever. Stop living like you're going to be alive forever and then die and end up in one of those Instagram videos. I mean, everything we're telling you here, we've done it from experience. I did it from experience. I mentioned this before. I come from a small town of 650 people in Switzerland, in the middle of nowhere. There's like farms and cows, and I'm surrounded by fields. For me to go to a city, I have to walk 30 minutes through fields to get through a city of 10,000 people. That's the population. That was a big city for me, 10,000 people. It's like, whoa, that's my life. And if you look at what I've done since then, you could literally, being very modest, write a whole movie about it. You can do that too. Right now, you're the director, you're the writer, and you're the actor of your movie. Why are you deciding, because you are deciding, why are you deciding to make it so bland and boring and inauthentic? Are you insane? Switch it up. No one's holding you back. Nothing is holding you back.